Welcome to the Williamsburg Address. I'm Allison Sakamura with my co-host, Kayla Jones, and we have a special guest today, Mark Kelley with Refined Floors.
Hello.
Welcome, Mark.
How are the both of you?
Great.
Yes, we are ready. Yes,
Well-
excited.
I mean, you don't need, I've told you this a number of times. I'm really happy for the both of you for actually doing this. I really am. I get really excited about podcasts just because go on long walks. I listen to them. It's something to do in the background. And when I heard you were doing it, I was pumped. I was really pumped. So
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Yes, and we have you as our second guest on here. So we are excited, and I'm going to do a background or a bio. Mark Kelley is the owner of Refined Floors here in Williamsburg, and his journey to building one of the area's most trusted flooring companies started in Palm Springs, California. He got into flooring mostly or almost by accident. Newly married and working at Home Depot, he switched to the flooring department because it paid a little more, and quickly realized he had a knack for it. He went on to spend nearly a decade with a high-end flooring company, even stepping away from a completed path toward becoming a firefighter when his boss made him an offer that changed the course of his career. In 2014, Mark and his wife Kristen wanted a change of scenery and a better place to raise their growing family, somewhere with 4 seasons and a strong sense of community. They drove from California to Virginia and arrived in Williamsburg on a Saturday morning in April. The farmers market was happening, the fife and drums were playing as they walked through colonial Williamsburg, and they had breakfast at the Blue Town. During breakfast, they asked their host, "What's the celebration?" He replied, "Nothing. This is just a normal Saturday." Yes. Yeah, that's true. In that moment, they looked at each other and knew they were home. They didn't bother looking anywhere else. Professionally, Mark first ran the commercial flooring division for Empire Today in Virginia, overseeing large-scale projects and managing crews across the state. He later stepped into a strategic accounts manager role with Stainmaster, traveling the East Coast and working closely with retailers and manufacturers. That experience gave him a front row seat to what separates average companies from exceptional ones: strong systems, strong leadership, and a commitment to customer service. When corporate layoffs hit in late 2018, he had opportunities to relocate, but leaving Williamsburg wasn't an option. Instead, he and Kristen bet on themselves and launched their own company in January 2019. They started out of their home in a small storage unit, driving Uber and Instacart to supplement income while building the business. They even brought their kids to early morning carpet camp to unload trucks. Within a year, they outgrew their space and eventually moved into the design center and warehouse they operate from today. Built around a shop-at-home philosophy, Refined Floors brings curated flooring options directly to homeowners, making the process more personal, more convenient, and less overwhelming. Today, the company is one of the highest rated flooring businesses in the region, built on grit, family, craftsmanship, and the belief that homeowners deserve better. Welcome to the Williamsburg Address, Mark.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, we're happy to have you.
Listening through that, I just had this flood of just memories of just all those things that happened.
Yes.
And then I just can't believe it actually happened.
And that is funny to have, like, in colonial Williamsburg, and you just hear the fife and drums, and you're like...
No, we rolled in. It was a Saturday morning. It was 8 o'clock. We had, coincidentally, the company I'd worked for in California, he is from Virginia, and since then, he's actually spent like half his time here in California, in Petersburg. And so he had a very, very historical home in Petersburg. He's, why don't you go stay there, freshen up, and then you can go to your meeting. And so we had plans to go, the office at the time was in Newport News. And so we had plans to go from Richmond, Newport News, Virginia Beach, and figure out a place to live. My boss at the time happened to live in Williamsburg and said, "Why don't you meet me? Let's meet up for breakfast." I'm pretty sure he had a motive, but no joke, the second we just rolled into town, I remember coming off 64 and just going through the windy and seeing the trees, because where I came from, it was desert. Everything was just, it was just brown,
Right.
brown and
Yes.
dirt or
Yeah.
sand, not dirt, sand. And so it was just so amazing to see like everything in bloom, and it's like, what's the celebration? It's just normal Saturday, no big deal. So we're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
it's like, all
Like
right,
literally,
let's find the house.
honest. I think we ended up I think we may have like drove to someplace like maybe Newport News, just near the office, and everything was just like, no,
Yeah.
just stick with that one. So
Yes.
found an
It's the
apartment, found an apartment, and we flew home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, were your kids? Your kids were with you, or you flew home and
So
said, "We're moving to Williamsburg"?
no, so originally we were actually going to move to Atlanta. That's where the carpet hub of the world is. Or carpet, I should say flooring. Just that's where all the anyways, if you want to make it big in flooring, you go to Atlanta.
Wow.
So the position I was applying for, I didn't get it, but they liked me enough, and they knew that in conversations I just said, I just want to move east. I really don't care. And they said, how about Virginia? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Literally, like it was I think my interview was on a Monday over the phone. We left Wednesday, and instead of going, staying on the 10, we took 64. We came down 64, and so we're like, yeah, this is great. This is great.
Aw.
But so the kids, I'm sorry, you asked about the kids. No, they were at home. So they were so Kristen's parents, they lived literally down the street from us at the time.
Wow.
And so they stayed with them. And we drove straight through, 3 days straight through, had the best time. Really had the best time. And found an apartment and dropped the car off. We stayed for like one extra day just to kind of get to know the area and stuff, and then just flew home and literally started packing. Just started packing the house.
Wow.
And within a month we were here.
That's changing your life on a dime.
Yeah. So when we drove through with the kids, we were in the van. It was all of us in the van. The two kids, Alec was probably, I don't know, 2. Madeline was close to 5, 4 or 5. And no, he wasn't 2. Anyways, they were very young.
Yeah.
But we had 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a rabbit.
No, my goodness.
All in the van. And not until maybe 10 hours into the drive, we're like, oh, we'll just stop at a hotel and just go for. No, we have all these animals in the car. We can't stop. So we found like rest stops and parks and stuff like that for the kids to go out and just burn energy. But we weren't planning on it, but like the trip when her and I went by ourselves, we just traded off. I think we may have found one hotel like in St. Louis or something. I can't remember, but it was a memorable trip.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I've driven back and forth across the country as well with children in a van with dogs. And so it is interesting. And when we moved that way, we definitely made an adventure of it, stopping to do things. Out west, it is easier with animals. Like they're more accepting and used to it, I think. The further east we got, people are, no, you can't leave the dog even in there for an hour, like to pick up dinner. So, we were having to get more of takeout and go back to the room. But it is incredible to drive and actually see the country that way. I think everybody should try to do it once in their lifetime if they haven't. And if you can add kids and pets in there, it makes it even more of an adventure. But either way, it's an amazing of our country that you're living it, and you're driving it, and you can stop when you want and just see so many things. So I highly recommend, if you haven't ever done it, you should try to think about doing it.
100%. Once.
Yes.
Yeah,
we did it twice the same way. We haven't seen it going the other way.
Ooh.
We went from North Carolina to Kansas, lived there for 10 months, then to Washington State for 2 years, and then drove back a different direction from Washington State to Pennsylvania, and then to Virginia. So a roundabout way of really seeing a lot of the country. And
yeah, you went a big giant squiggle.
Yeah.
Well, Kayla is like the only original I know of. Is Williamsburg is still here.
Yes.
That's very rare. That is very rare. As you know.
Mm-hmm. There's a few. That's a good amount, actually. It's just, I think Williamsburg's so large now because so many people have moved here that some of the people that were like original locals or natives, whatever, you don't really come across them as much because it's just so many people now.
I mean, yeah, just in the 11, 12 years we've been here, it's just grown a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And even when
Yeah.
we first moved here, people were, I think the big thing was people were talking about Newtown, like, oh, well, that used to be, it wasn't there. I'm like, oh, okay, I can't envision it, but I'll believe you.
It was farmland. It was all farmland. It's amazing to think about, and just the development we've even seen since we've lived here. I got here in 2013. The development I've seen, I mean, obviously they're very thoughtful about it, but
Hmm.
it always remains just a special place, great people. None of that's changed from when I've moved here. I would say probably the same for you, right? I mean, just the
Yeah,
kindness, connection, and people support each other, and it's just such a unique place to live.
it
Oh yeah.
really is. So
Yeah.
so when we lived in the desert, we bought our first house and we lived there for 5 or 6 years or so. And I knew one of the neighbor. I knew of them. I had one neighbor next door, the Singles, and then I had Miss Yam across the street who owned the donut shop, and then there was a couple other neighbors. And I was there for 5 years, and I would just see him like empty the trash or doing yard work or whatever, and wave hello. We moved here, and so as we were only in our apartment for maybe like 3 months, we found a house over in Skipwood Farms,
Mm-hmm.
and we were there for almost 10 years. That was the best place for my children to grow up. We knew not just the people on our street, we knew almost everybody in the entire
Aw.
neighborhood. And so it was the running joke was like if you're going to go out to cut just do like a 2-minute chore, it's going to take you 2 hours because everybody's going to want to talk to you. And so then you get caught up in it and you're like, then you start doing it to people and you're like, oh my gosh, no. So we definitely what we strive to accomplish by moving east. We definitely got it tenfold. It's been wonderful.
Good. Glad you like my town. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
Maybe you should run for mayor.
Maybe I should. That'll be a next thing on my bucket list to check on.
Our 1%er, I call her. Yeah. Let us touch
I
you,
can see
the golden child.
The golden child.
true
Yeah,
native. I think it would work.
it might.
I can see it on the headline.
It might. I'll have to dig in some more about that and do some more research. All right. Well, we're gonna get into Refine Floors. And first we'll ask, can you give us a broad overview of the services that Refine Floors provides? We know that you have in-stock carpet replacement and installation in days. And let's say the overview, and then what does that whole thing look like?
Yeah. So, kind of from the two of you, from your perspective as realtors, yeah. So we keep we try to keep a good healthy stock of inventory because, we have a good relationship with a number of predominant realtors in our area. And so when we try to give them fast service, like I just need it now, it needs to look good, it needs to be cheap because we're just selling the house. That's it. No one's going to live in it. And so we've been able to develop really good relationships that way. But that's actually a very small portion of our business. Mainly what we do is like, so coincidence, we did Kayla's parents' house. And
Yes.
so what from the beginning, our business philosophy has been shop at home. So it's been us, we come to you. We have our design van. It's loaded with some of the best flooring options. We curate it to what we feel will bring value and beauty to a home. Things that we would feel comfortable putting in my own house.
Yes. Yeah.
And so by having the shop at home, it allows us to have the conversation. And I think the other thing too is we don't buy flooring that often. So it's extremely overwhelming. And so a lot of us, we default to just kind of going to the box store and just kind of just touching and feeling. Somebody tries to come up to you and you're like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I want to work for myself. So when we're in somebody's home, they're a little more comfortable, which is nice. We don't, it's overwhelming as enough. We don't have to make it more confusing or discomforting. So, but we get to listen. We actually, when I walk around, I measure out a house, I'm able to see everything. Oh, okay. I see they have 2 dogs. I see they have cats. They've got 5 teenagers. It could be anything. And so that actually allows me to make better recommendations, but we get to see it in their own home, their own lighting. And so we strive to provide an estimate right there on the spot. So they're not, waiting in suspense, like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to mortgage my house for this? Like, and they're like, oh, it's actually less than I thought. It's like, yeah, I told you it would. But, and then from there, we handle it all. So carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl, laminates, sand refinishing. We do a lot of wood hard surface maintenance. So we do a lot of like recoats, cleaning of tile and hardwood and vinyl plank. We actually do a lot of fabricating of rugs in our shop, and then also window treatments as well. So we're also a Hunter Douglas service provider. So we actually do that as well. But right now we're kind of servicing Williamsburg to Providence Forge, and then from here to like Newport News. Occasionally we'll actually get clients in the Northern Neck. Occasionally we'll go into Richmond, and so we're right now we're in this phase of growing, and so we're looking to expand broader into those areas: Providence Forge to Richmond, Northern Neck, those sorts of things.
Do you find, what you're recommending is outside of what they originally thought? Like they maybe have a certain perception of what they're looking for, but being in their home and actually being able to look around, compare it to what they already have, there are colors on the wall that it tends to go in a different direction than what they anticipated.
It does. So like I'll give you an instance. We have a recent client of ours. We're actually installing his floor next week. Went to his house, and they had went to a couple of other flooring stores, and they had some samples there, and he had it there, and I just kind of asked like, oh, so what's that? And he's like, oh, we saw it in the store. I'm like, oh, it's actually a really well built floor. It's not a bad choice, but this is what I would recommend based on. I mean, I just listen. I just ask questions and I listen. And so, okay, well, you said X, Y, and Z. This one's good, but what if I can give you something better for like the same price? So we'll go down that avenue. And so, where they were looking at a very dark floor, they actually went with a lighter floor.
Wow.
And so, but also being in there, there was a lot of things that unless I go out there and see, it wouldn't have been found out until the date of installation. So I was actually able to address a lot of the preparation that was needed. And so it's, again, just trying to set the expectation of a proper install. And then occasionally we'll get a client, we'll start at one thing, and no joke, they will look at 100 different swatches.
Hey, just got to make sure.
Listen, I'll go along right for you.
That can be with a house too. We'll find that with a house. We may show them the first house and they love it. But they're like, I need to view more just to know. And then you view 100 houses in different areas, and that first one sticks in their brain. And they're like, that is my house. Now it's even more clear. So it's interesting. But
sometimes you have to see all those. You have to see all those just to know and appreciate the one that you knew your gut was telling you that one. But sometimes you just need I just need to see the other ones. That's all.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So refinishing floors, you know how normally you can see if there's enough level there to be able to sand down?
Meat on the bone. Yeah.
Yes. And then can they pick any color at that point if they're sanding it down? Do you have colors that you can do anything you want? And then the other question would be like, how long does that process take? Like, are they completely moving out and removing all the furniture from that floor in order for you to do it?
Yeah. So, yes. So essentially, yes. Unlike when we're replacing with new floor, we actually can shift a lot of things from room to room. It's a lot easier. However, with sand refinishing, everything's got to come out. It's all got to come out because we're going to be in there. It really depends on the size, but let's say 2,700 square feet. We're probably going to block off 2 weeks to be in the house.
Gotcha.
So the system that we use is we use the Bona philosophy. So we use their sanders, we use their vacuums, we use all of their finishes, their stains, their polys. We feel that for the service that we want to strive for, they really offer some of the best products. It's a little bit slower. We use what's called a Bona power drive. So rather than the traditional belt sander, it's just a loop piece of sandpaper. I'm trying to break it down in simple form.
Yeah.
Ours is actually a disc. So it's got 4 discs. One goes one way and the whole machine goes another way. But that offers the flattest floor possible. It provides a really, really good experience.
Okay. Well, I guess explain the difference between recoating hardwood floors and doing a full refinish.
I'm sorry. Allison's question was the color. So can you pick any color you want? Yes and no. It depends. It depends on the species of wood you have. So red oak versus white oak. If you're going with a lighter color, it's going to absorb the stain. Is going to absorb differently on different species of wood. So if I'm trying to have a white floor, we may have to do some things to the red oak for it to become the whitest color possible. What we actually end up doing is we kind of look at chipset sets in the consultation, and then once a contract's signed, we'll actually as we approach the install date, we'll actually sand a portion of the floor and actually throw down 3 colors so they can actually see what it looks like in their home.
Mm.
Wow,
Just
that's
because
great.
to pick it off on something like this is just, and we could make our own boards, but it's not your floor and it's not going to look the same.
Yeah.
So Kaylee, the
Finishing
whole
that-
refinishing.
Yep,
So
yeah.
so refinishing is we're restoring the floor. So we're going there, we're sanding it. We're sanding it probably 4 to 6 times. We're trying to get all that old stain out. We're trying to get all the scratches out. We're trying to get the floor as flat as possible. And we're either going with the same color or we're picking a new color and we're putting new coats of poly on. So that's sand refinishing. Just think of full restoring. With the recoat, what we do is that's a whole nother system. So we actually we just lightly abrade the floor. Everything starts to come off the floor, and then we deep clean the floor, lightly abrade it, deep clean it again, and then we're putting a fresh coat of polyurethane. So polyurethane really just, it needs to be done probably once every 10 to 15 years or so, depending on how you take care of your floors. But it just allows the protection, like some of the protection. It may look fine, but I can look at some areas like it's actually going away or it's starting to wear off. We really should do this, and so doing the recoat, and so it just allows the wood to be protected from foot traffic and such like that. It won't get out scratches. It won't get out color changes from rugs. It's just merely putting a fresh coat of poly on.
Got it.
So a lot of people will, like when they're getting ready to prepare the house, they got everything already out because they've already moved to their new house, and so usually that's because they're selling the house. We'll usually just go in there and just we'll either deep clean the floors or put a fresh coat of poly on.
Okay. Now, are you seeing more clients choose to refinish existing hardwood floors or replace them with a different product altogether?
Ooh. I would say most replace. I would say most replace.
Gotcha.
So a lot of homes, they have the classic look, the 2 1/4 inch, 3 1/4 inch width, red oak. It's the Williamsburg special.
Yeah.
Almost every house. Everybody wants bigger, I want 5, 7, 9. I want nice big planks.
Wow.
And so we'll talk about it. And so there's pros and cons with everything. So what is nice, so like I said, 2,000 square feet, we're in there for roughly 2 weeks. We can have the 2 weeks. Everything's got to come out. They need to take, all the appliances need to come out. The toilets need to come out. The vanity, everything needs to come off the floor, and it needs to go somewhere else. Whereas if we're replacing it, yes, the cost would be more, but we can be in and out in a week, and we can actually move the furniture because we can shift things from room to room. And then once it's done, they can move. It's done. They can move in. Now they have something a little bit more, contemporary, just something a lot more current than sort of the traditional.
So what are you seeing them replacing it to more so?
We kind of go through ebbs and flows. Like we can go through months of just doing nothing but hardwood. Like it's just nothing but hardwood. We're doing like a 7 or 9 inch. There's one project we did. They were actually kind of on the fence between refinishing, but they really wanted to move into their house. And it was a big undertaking, but we did herringbone. We did a herringbone white oak in a 5 inch on their curved landing. And then on all the connecting bedrooms, we did the matching 7 inch plank.
I know that was pretty. Yeah.
It was
beautiful. Yeah.
It really was. And so that's always the nice thing too, is that just because we do sell nicer products, that we get to see some really incredible projects and be a part of them. And so that's always what makes it exciting for me, is seeing them excited. But then like I say it, I don't know if they believe me or not, but I was like, no, I'm really excited that you did this, because this is this really transformed the space. And so I get to see it. And so, yeah.
I think one of the biggest things seeing at my parents' house when you all replaced their floors is
Can you
how many
believe that?
boxes came.
That was a lot. Holy cow, that was a lot of
I was
boxes.
like, my goodness, how many boxes? I mean, the boxes were at least like maybe 4.5 feet
Yeah, at least.
of, LVP, so
Yes,
luxury
yes.
vinyl plank
Uh-huh.
installation.
Mhm.
With that, what are the main benefits of LVP?
So with LVP, so luxury vinyl plank, it is waterproof. And so I'll admit, I kind of have a love-hate with vinyl plank.
Okay, tell us why.
All right, here we go. So probably vinyl plank's actually been around since like the 60s. It was primarily used in in commercial applications. So if you've ever walked into a Target or a Walmart, you've walked on LVP. Not until maybe the early 2000s did it start to transition from commercial to residential. It was still primarily glue down. So I saw it a lot being on the West Coast because everything's a concrete slab versus everything here, we're on raised foundations, we're on crawl spaces, we're on a wood foundation. So glue down isn't always the best, or at least, the best mode for installation in that instance. But for concrete, yeah, we're always gluing down. So they started to develop locking systems. And so that's about the time they made the switch from laminate to LVP. Laminate, if we recall back in the 90s, think Pergo. So more like iron, you can drop anything on it, and it just took a beating. But in water, it was the worst. It was the worst. Near a dog bowl, near a potted plant or something, it just swelled up. Mm-hmm. So that's where vinyl plank came in, and so the manufacturers quickly learned, like, hey, we got something really big on our hands, and so it just blew up from there. And the big draw to it was being very waterproof, and so we kind of go back to a consumer going into a store. I don't want to be bothered. I want to look at my own, and they see the word waterproof.
Yeah,
they're not all the same. They're not. So. I'm always going through Home Depot to get supplies or, a tool or something. And I'll always take a peek at the flooring department, and I see somebody looking at something, and it takes everything in my soul not to walk up to them and say, you really shouldn't buy that. I don't want to be a weirdo in the store. So I just
Right?
kind of leave alone.
Just kind of slip them your business card.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oops.
Oh, this fell.
So my love-hate is, like, the manufacturers did a really good job marketing it. So good that a lot of consumers, they see those words, waterproof, pet friendly. It's like, well, anything's waterproof. The flooring in your grandmother's kitchen, that was waterproof. Anything will take water. It just depends on how much. And, as long as you get to it right away, you're fine. But, they're not. So, we just found, like, a lot of people were getting disappointed with not knowing that they bought a subpar product. And so, pet scratches, dings, dents, they all happened, and they failed with lesser quality products. And so knowing that, when we started to curate our collection of LVPs and laminates, we wanted to find things that really met our standards. Like, here's the average retailer store standard. Here's ours. We're only going to sell things that are in this category. That's it. I don't care if it's less money. I don't want someone to waste their money on it. So there are, the right floor has to be for the right person, and so that's part in what we do for our consultations. So, but I will admit, I actually have LVP in my house. Do
you see a lot of homeowners going towards LVP than traditional hardwood? Or carpet?
Yeah, it's, carpet's kind of making a comeback in a good way. Yeah. So, for the longest time, we just started seeing less and less. We actually still did sell quite a bit of it, just because, just by nature, I really do like carpet. It's softer. It absorbs a lot of sound. Having the right one will perform but yeah, people don't want it in their entries and their bathrooms or, their living room. So yeah, it makes sense to put a hard surface in there. Mm-hmm. But, carpet doesn't have to be boring. We can get bold patterns and bold colors and just get something really, really different. And so again, those always excite me, is seeing someone who's bold enough to actually do a fun carpet. But to answer your question, do we see more or less LVP and hardwood? It's 50-50. I think.
Got it.
50-50. Yeah. We were just in the warehouse today, and I was just kind of walking, I would probably say 70% of what's in the warehouse right now is hardwood, and the rest of it's LVP. Okay. Come April or May, it could flip. Who knows?
Gotcha. Well, I guess is there like different price point? The
like hardwood versus vinyl? Yeah.
Yeah. LVP that looks more like wood.
There are, our manufacturers have gotten really good they've gotten really good. I mean, I think your parents' floor is a prime example.
Yeah, their floor is really nice.
It looks like the real thing. When they came out with that series, I actually thought about ripping out my floors and putting that in. I think I told them that. And so, because technology has gotten so much better, there are some hardwoods that are more money than LVPs and laminates. and vice versa. There are LVPs and laminates that are more money than hardwood. So, some folks think like, oh, well, I need to get LVP just because I'm on a budget, but I really want hardwood. And so I just kind of ask them that question, and it's like, no, we can definitely put you into hardwood, and it would still it would still perform well. There's still a beauty and a feel of a real hardwood floor that just vinyl plank and laminate just can't imitate. They can get close.
Yeah.
They just can't imitate it. And some people love that.
What I'll say, you recently did a client's home where we got a flooring allowance from the seller. So the floors are a little bit, more
Oh, yes.
at the end of the life. This has happened a couple of times with clients, and you'll accept, a credit from the closing statement from the seller towards flooring. And then the buyer has the option to then meet with you and upgrade from that allowance, because the seller's going to pay like for like. So if there's carpet in the living room, they're going to pay for carpet in the living room, but the client can then upgrade. What was interesting about it was, of course, you came to the house. We met at the house at the time when we were still under contract. We didn't own the home yet, but the seller let us have a consultation there. And if you remember this particular house, there was flooring in the entryway, then a transition, then the living room, dining, then a transition, then the kitchen. So there was different flooring in every area, but an all one level home. And what you were able to provide, and we talked about, was removing those transitions. So it's all flooring from the entry to the living room, dining room, into the kitchen and eat-in area. And it just makes the space look bigger, present differently, right? And it's all one complete floor. And the outcome was just gorgeous, and I think you spent a lot of time with them kind of talking through. So even when some people maybe don't have that idea of this flooring can be in your entryway and it's going to sustain you coming in with shoes or bringing pets in or whatever, and it can be then all complete throughout. Do you find that you're doing more of that, or are you finding people are keeping tile or something different in their kitchen because they feel it's more durable, and then, having a transition into that living room space?
We find that a lot of folks want all of, like, the entire first floor, unless they have a primary on the first floor. That's most likely going to be carpet. But the living room, the dining room, the sitting room, the den, the this, that, if it's all connected in the same areas, for one, I do not like transitions. I think they're an eyesore. There's a reason they're there, and sometimes they are needed. And we just, we have no other option. The most important thing is that when we do need them, is we always supply a matching one, not a coordinating one. We want it to look like the same floor, not to be a version of it. But sometimes, depending on the installation, we have to do more prep to the subfloor to either build it up, because in some cases, we actually can go on top of their existing floor, depending on how the house is built and how their crawl space, if it's encapsulated, if it has dehumidifiers, we actually can go right over it. So in that particular project, we actually left a lot of their entry floor alone because it was solid, it was sound, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just dated. And then we built up the other areas because she did not want transitions, and that allowed us to kind of really go into all the rooms without transitions from room to room. But yeah, a lot of people will agree that, if I don't have to have transition, I would be a very happy person.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What with your carpet that you were talking about, the fun carpet ones, what is, I guess, the most unique or funnest one that you have installed?
I wish I had a picture of it. We're getting ready to do one.
Okay. Can you describe it?
So if people follow us on Instagram, maybe in a month they'll see it, because we actually do need it. So we're doing this. This house is actually a lot of carpet. Now I'm thinking about it. So they 456 square yards of carpet. It's a big house, and it's going everywhere. But she's always wanted an animal print on her staircase.
Wow.
And she has a giant curved staircase. There's probably 20 steps going up, and it's bam, right as you walk in the front door. And it's a Wilton weave, 100% wool, just a really tight loop, animal print, and kind of a bluish tone, like a really soft blue. That one I get excited about. We had another client. She wanted like a bold cheetah print going up her stairs. We actually had some scrap pieces left over, and we made some little carpet koozies out of them. And
oh my goodness,
we had enough to like 10 of them or so. And so there's a couple of them floating around here somewhere. But that was a fun project. Gosh, that's another really wild carpet. Like we did like this really textured big diamond pattern in their theater room. Usually it's like really, really bold patterns.
Yeah.
Another fun one was actually the carousel. So down in CW, the carousel, we had gone in there just because of our daughter, and she's much, much older now. And now recently my niece, well, she wasn't born at that time yet, but anyways, we knew of the store. And so she came in just as a stranger, and I talked to her and I said, my wife has gone in there a number of times. She loves your store. She loves this and that. And so we started talking, and she started describing the space. And I said, I know the space. I know the space. This is what we need to do. And so we picked this just really bright pink, this pink and white looped textured wool carpet. It was for the little kid waiting area for them to like watch TV and they play with toys and stuff like that. But it turned out so great. If they want to see something fun, go into the carousel. Talk to Barney, gosh,
Yeah, I have to go check it out.
it's really nice. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Have to see what it looks like.
Mhm.
And I know you were talking about cleaning the floors. So do you offer deep cleaning for existing?
We learned. The biggest misconception that a lot of people end up doing clean their floors is they'll use either heavy detergents, things with high pH. They'll use things that say brings luster back, brings shine. It's like actually stay away from those. They actually do more harm. They
Wow.
keep me employed, but don't. Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't use it, because we end up going in there and we have to strip the whole thing.
Wow.
So when we took on the sand refinishing, they also had a cleaning program as well, and so we knew we had to do it because it just sort of encompassed our kind of the full circle of our service of what we offer. So yeah, we actually do quite a bit of residential. We do some commercial. We have a few commercial clients that are on a quarterly schedule, that we just go in there and we deep clean their floors, and so it just helps it last longer, and then gives them more time that they don't have to replace it so often. So yeah, just tile, hardwood, vinyl, laminate.
Tile and grout.
What is your typical turnaround from consultation to actually installation? Like
Yeah,
obviously
usually.
some you have on hand, but others have to be ordered.
Yeah. So if it's if it's a house you're selling, usually within a week or two, because we generally keep the carpet in stock, so we can actually get to it pretty quick. We've had some, all the stars aligned, the carpet gods shined upon us, and we said, yeah, we can actually be there tomorrow if you really want it. And so we've done a couple of those. But most of the time, everything we get a special order. So that way it guarantees first quality. It's not sitting on a shelf. We bring it in. Usually takes about 2 weeks for us to get it from the manufacturer. A lot of it ships from Georgia. So us being in Virginia, we actually get things pretty quick and on time. And then once it arrives in our facility and it gets checked through is when we call the client. And usually we're scheduling installation within 1 to 2 weeks. A whole house of carpet we can get done in a day. A whole house of hard surface. Like I think Kayla, we were at your parents' house for like maybe two days. I think maybe there was a third day for some little touch-ups here and there. But yeah, hard surface usually we can get done in 1 to 2 days. And then once we're gone, you can throw a party. You can move right back in.
I guess, with people that are looking to get this service done, what should they expect when you come to the house and you do the consultation? What does that payment process look like? Do you do like half up front, or is there a deposit, or what does that?
So during the consultations, like I said, we strive to provide an estimate right there on the spot. And so, many folks say like, oh, it's about what I thought it would be, or wow, that's less than what it is, or some people have the opposite, like, oh, that was a lot more than what I thought. And so usually from there, we just have the conversation like, okay, well, what was your expectation? What it sounds kind of rude, but anyways, like, what did you have more in mind? Because we can always switch things to make it closer to what you had budgeted for, because it's a big undertaking. And most of the time we actually find something for them, and like, oh, I feel so great. I didn't have to compromise, I didn't have to compromise quality. I could still get something really nice. So once the agreement is made, it's a 50% deposit. It can be check, cash, or check or credit. We actually do not charge a credit card fee. I hate it when people do it to me, so we don't do it to people.
That's nice.
We also offer financing. So we offer, depending on the dollar amount, anywhere between 6 and 12 months of deferred interest, and that's through Synchrony. use someone else's money as long as it's paid off within 6 to 12 months. It didn't cost you anything extra. So yeah, so we offer those, but yeah, 50% deposit, but that allows us to get everything ordered.
Got it. And then how would a homeowner, how should they start preparing for the installation day? So after
So
you've done the consult
yeah,
and you've done all the money part, what
a
the
hard
installation?
part. My God.
Yes.
I remember the first time we actually replaced all of our carpet in our house, and I just looked at my wife and I said, "We put people through this. This is terrible." It was I had to move everything out, and of course the kids didn't move all their things, so I'm like scrambling to get it all done
Mhm.
because I'm the owner. I have to set an example. That was man, it was stressful. So knowing that, we actually have a pre-installation checklist. So we have Audrey in our office that really is wonderful. So she's answer, if you're calling, set up a consultation, you have questions, you're most likely talking to Audrey. And so when all the material comes in and she's calling to schedule it, she is also emailing out. We have a pre-installation checklist for each type of installation, and it really goes through the same things that I will discuss to a client during the consultation, saying, just make sure that this is cleared and that's cleared and move this and move that. We'll take care of this. We'll take care of that. But there's a lot going on, and they forget. People are going to forget 75% of it, and I get it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
she will actually send out a detailed list of everything that has gone over in the consultation. And then of course, as we approach the date, you'll actually get reminders, text or emails just saying, "Hey, don't forget your installs in 24 hours," or if you got a question, just let us know. And then she'll check in as well.
So does that mean like things from underneath the bed need to be removed or?
They have yet to develop a way to install carpet on a floor with everything still there. It
Of course.
hasn't been made yet. But so mainly what we need, like if we're setting sand refinishing and recoats aside. But if we're installing new flooring, we can take care of the big stuff. We just need all the small stuff cleared off. So like a bookshelf, we need all the books gone so we can pick it up, move it, put it back. Electric beds, we'll take care of moving electric beds. There are some things that we just can't handle, and they really should be done by professional movers.
Mhm.
Pianos, grandfather clocks, very large antiques. Those we actually we'll have the conversation with them and say, I know this person, give them a call and they'll take care of it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with like dust and
Hmm.
anything like that, just from the
Yep.
floors themselves, should they be getting like maybe some cheap shower curtains just to throw over things, or what do you suggest
Yeah.
for that type of stuff?
So we'll actually put like plastic
Okay.
over areas, and we try to be mindful as best we can that when we're handling people's belongings, that we're
Mhm.
putting them away from the areas of work. In some cases, we kind of make do just because it's a tight space. There's a lot of guys in there working, and
Mhm.
we're ripping a house apart, and we're trying to get it done. So we try to be mindful and cover things where necessary. We do a pretty good job cleaning up afterwards as well. So once they finish the installation, we'll wipe everything down, clean up. But sometimes there'll be some settling dust and in some areas that it got in a drawer or something. Who
Back to the carpet. What is a standard grade pad? And then what would you, if someone was going to upgrade the pad to kind of
yeah.
give you a lot more cushion, what would be your recommendation to the upgraded pad level?
So we pretty much just we carry two. That's it. Both are in 8 pound. Both are a 1/2 inch. Both have a moisture barrier. One is a rebonded foam. One is not. So our standard pad is most people's upgrade. So what is the standard? If we're talking builder carpet standard,
Yes.
5 pound quarter. I think it's 3/8 quarter-inch or 3/8 is like the standard. So if you walk into like a Ryan Home or a DR Horton, that's probably what they're using. Yes, they'll offer an upgraded version for an obscene amount of money. No one ever picks that, and I wouldn't put it in my house. So why should I carry it? And so we figure
Right.
Yeah.
let's just give people the best. Let's just give
Mhm.
people the best. And so every house we do, unless there are certain circumstances, we will put in a 1/2 inch 8 pound rebonded foam pad. So what carpet cushion is actually made out of, it's actually bits and pieces from like foam mattresses, cushions from your couch. It's all new material, and so they grind it up, they compress it into a giant block, and they slice it into whatever the thickness of it is.
Okay.
So, everything we have is clean. It hasn't been recycled. It wasn't in somebody's house. Let's put it that way. Because there are some carpet cushions that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that. That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Got it.
But probably like the biggest misconception we get is we get a lot of clients that say, I have allergies. I need to get rid of this carpet. And so we have the conversation. We talk about it. It can go one of two ways. It can go, okay, this person is, yes, let's put them into a hard surface. But actually, if you have allergies and you're sensitive to dust, actually carpet's the best option for you. Because dust and dander, it's in the air, it falls down, and the carpet holds on to it, and then you vacuum it and it goes away.
That makes sense.
Versus a hard surface, it sits on it, the air conditioner kicks on, or someone walks by, all of it kicks up into the air.
That is true. I never thought about that, but that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some folks that are just, nope, that's where my allergies come from, and I will respect the decision that they've made. I am only here to inform, give my opinion, and what you take with it, that's up to you.
Yeah. Yes. And let me see, going back to like the rugs that you all.
So we can actually, we have a lot of clients that we make quite a bit of runners for, and then we'll do rugs as well, but we actually do a lot of runners.
Okay.
And so any carpet that we have, we can make it into a custom runner. So if you want something 26 and 1/4 inch by whatever, we can make it.
Are those permanently attached?
If we're doing on a stair, we're either going to, most of the time, we're using some tack strip, the little wood strips with the little pokey nails. We're using that in like a box of 1,000 staples, and we're using the entire box. We don't want that thing going anywhere. We don't want it going anywhere. So yes, it is permanently attached. Yeah. If we're taking it off, it's not coming off in one piece.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Do you think that with those, have you had anybody do very fancy stair runners, I would say?
Well, we had the animal print ones.
The animal prints.
We have the one, really, I can't wait for this one. It's going to look so nice.
Yeah, we'll have to see those pictures.
I had one client that actually got really creative. So between the months of November and February, it's our runner season because it's all we do. It's colder. People are in socks. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Like we've gotten calls of people saying like, I broke my legs going up the stairs, or the dog fell going down the stairs. Yeah. And so she took towels and taped it to her staircase until her runner was ready.
Wow.
I looked at it, I was like, you know what? That's a smart idea.
At least they made it work. They made it work.
Yeah. You make the best out of a bad scenario.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. How long would you say normal carpet, let's say you have pets and kids and you've had it, what's the normal duration or time? If you're taking off your shoes, carpet, home, it's probably better. I'm a person that takes the shoes off at the door just so I'm not tracking everything around. But what would you say is a normal lifespan of a carpet?
So it depends. It depends. The carpet comes in 3 primary fibers. The first one is going to be polyester, PET, triexta. They're essentially the same thing with different names. That's usually what we see at the box stores. They're big, they're fluffy. You can put your hands, everybody shops with their hands. So if I can put my hands in it, if it's thick and soft, that means the carpet's going to do great. No, it just means it's going to be soft when you get out of bed. So depending on what the carpet's made out of will determine its longevity. And then we add that to how the carpet was constructed. Is it looped? Is it not? And then the next one is, am I going to take my shoes off? Am I going to wipe my feet? Are the dogs not allowed on it? And then the last one is going to be, how am I going to maintain it? Am I going to vacuum my floors? Am I going to have my carpets professionally steam cleaned? So polyester, as long as you did all those things, you took your shoes off at the door. Let's assume the perfect scenario. I take my shoes off at the door. I have my carpets professionally steam cleaned per the manufacturer's instructions once every 16 to 18 months. And I'm vacuuming regularly. A fun fact is however many people are in your house, that's how many times a week you need to be vacuuming. Mm-hmm. If you get one, you're above average. Polyester, PET, triexta, anywhere between like 5 to 7 years. Mostly what we sell, what we offer a lot of is more nylon and wool. And so nylon is a synthetic version of a wool's durability. It does not need to be engineered. A good quality wool does not need to be engineered to be very durable or stain resistant. It just naturally is. Nylon it has to be engineered, but ultimately it's the best performing synthetic fiber. Nylon, 10, 15, 20 years, with a good quality. I would say average by about 10 to 15. And then wool, a good quality wool, it'll last forever. It'll last forever. But
Wow.
generally someone will keep their carpet about 10 years. 8 to 10 years is the average lifespan, just because they got bored with the color or somebody new came into the house. They just wanted to change. So usually somebody will keep it for 8 to 10 years.
Got it. Let me ask you one more question I have is going back to like LVP or wood or anything like that. Do you recommend for homeowners to purchase extra boxes of flooring in case of future damage or discontinued products?
Yeah, it does happen. So usually with an install, we'll have about 1 or 2 boxes left over. So as long as the manufacturer does, they don't have an added freight charge, we usually say let's just wait till the project's done. And if we need more, we'll get more. That way you're not stuck with more than what you need. Because you got to put it somewhere, the garage, the attic, spare bedroom. It is a good thing to have at least 1 or 2 extra boxes, because once you get rid of it, that's when you need it.
Yeah, that's true. And with those boxes, is it better to have them laying flat on the floor or having them against the wall?
Flat.
Yeah.
Put them under a bed. Just put them under a bed.
Under a bed.
Yeah, just
Good
put 'em under a
idea.
bed.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
best place for it.
Yeah, I've heard it's better to have them flat, so I have some extras that just lay them flat. But yeah, from when I purchased this one, but yeah, I think Allison, did you have anything else?
No, I think this has been great. I appreciate all of your insights. I mean, so many fascinating facts. And we love that you were able to join us and be our second guest. And
Yeah, I
if you
appreciate
want
it.
to give your Instagram and maybe your email or phone number, how people contact you, that'd be great. We'll add it when we put it out as well and post about it. But if you want to speak it, you can do.
So phone number 757-378-6465. This call, easiest way is just go online, refinefloors.com. You can actually learn more about us. You can see a lot of our projects. You can see all of our reviews. Just fill out the consultation request. You put your requested dates and time in there. We get it. There's even a place for you to upload photos or leave other notes, but we'll get it. Audrey will get it scheduled to, as close as possible. If not, she'll call them and say, I'm sorry, we don't have Tuesday available, but how about Wednesday? And then you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at refinefloors.com or Refine Floors Williamsburg.
There you go. Did you have anything else you wanted to add in, Mark, that you could think of?
I'm just really excited that you guys are doing this.
Thank you.
It's
fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
I can't wait to get more into because when Allison, when you were walking me around your office, which I thought was above and beyond of what you did. And so I was not the only one that said you need a podcast. I think almost everybody in your office said you need a podcast because you had a lot of stories. They were good ones.
Yeah, we do have a lot of stories and funny experiences. And I think that, it's fun now launching. Thank you for your support and always kind of championing us to start. And we're just excited and we're so thrilled to be able to bring connection to the community, to people like you that can share about your business or the process so that it makes it able to be understood easier. Now having this out there, people can kind of think this through before even maybe the consult. So it just provides such great information and we're just so excited to have you on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree. And like we know, for all of our listeners, we don't recommend people we wouldn't use ourselves. Like I said, my parents have used Mark and Refine Floors, and they are very happy with it. Clients have used and very happy too. So we don't want to put people on here that we wouldn't use ourselves in our own houses.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's a small town, but everybody knows somebody. And so
that's true.
We just want to be that somebody.
Yes. Well, we thank you for coming on, and we thank you all for listening to this episode of the Williamsburg Address.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.